Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We are learning now Maseches Kiddushin, Daf Nun Vav Amud Beis. We saw a Mishnah that described a man who is Mekadesh, is Kala, with all kinds of strange items, which the common denominator between these items are all Osur Ba'ano, all kinds of things that a person may not have benefit from, right? So all these things, she's not Mekudeshes. A woman is not Mekudeshes because he cannot benefit from that. And for him to have his wife, hopefully, is benefit. And therefore, what? And therefore, this is not something that can that functions, that applies. And then the Mishnah said at the end, if he sold the item for money, then the money doesn't catch. In other words, the Isser doesn't catch on the money because really it's a non-starter, and the Isser Hano doesn't transfer to the money. So if he, let's say, took let's say Orla, he took fruit from the tree that's too young, you're not allowed to benefit them, you're not allowed to be in a henna, and he took and he used it he's exchanged it for money. The money is as pure as the snow. It's good because the money does not become asobano. It can be mekadosh with the money. Now, the Mishnah blatantly missed a few items that are asobano. And Tosfos talks about it. One of them is Pesach. Why don't we talk about Pesach? Says Tosfos, because there's an opinion in Maseches Psochim or BSD A that chometz is mutar bano. We don't follow that opinion. That's a BSD A. So our Mishnah, Ezra Mishnah, followed BSD A before about Kochim Kalim here too. What about Shemitah, Orla, Shemitah, Avodah Zarah? Why isn't Avodah Zarah mentioned? Tosfos says what I told you already yesterday. You can't write Avodah Zarah here. And not because you can be Mekadesh with the Zarah. You cannot be Mekadesh with the Zarah. But the Seifa, which brings the more lenient side, that if you exchange the Easter, then the money becomes okay. That's not true about Avodah Zarah. If you exchange Avodah Zarah for money, although monetarily speaking, there is no transaction because you can't buy anything for Avodah Zarah, but the money becomes treif as much as Avodah Zarah itself, even 1,000 times over. And therefore, you can't be mekadesh. You can't say regarding Avodah Zarah that the money given for Avodah Zarah is good for Kiddushin. That's not true. When it comes to Shvis, it's a very difficult issue. I'm sorry about that. Shemitah is a different story. As Ellen reminded us, we saw before a person may be mekadesh per Shemitah. The reason you use them right. That's before the time of the biur. Before the time it's supposed to get rid of it. Once you're supposed to get rid of it, it's already a different story. And we're not going now to explain that. But Shemitah sometimes is okay, sometimes is not okay. Depends when you do it and how you do it. Says the Gemara weiter. Shor haniskal minayin. How do you know that shor haniskal is osur behano? How do you know that? What's a shor haniskal? It's a shor who? No, what's shor haniskal? He what? What did he do to show? What? He gored someone in what? And the guy lost his foot? He killed him. Yeah. The shor haniskal is a shor. Even if it's a first-time offender, once he killed a persona, a Jewish person, then what's the din? The shor has to be niskal, gets to Beis Din, 23 people. And the pasuk says as follows. The pasuk that describes the death of the shor niskal is telling me three things. Soker isakir shor, the shor shall be surely stoned. V'lo ya'ocheles besoroi, its flesh or flesh may not be eaten. Baal shor noki, and the owner of the bull is clean. These are the three parts of the pasuk, and we're going to have a lot of fun learning about each and every part. Now let's see how the Gemara learns it. The Tanya. Let's analyze the pasuk. Once it says in the Torah, "Soki l'saki l'sho," ein yodesh nevelahi. Well, I know if you stone a show, yeah, big stones, what happens then? Is the shor kosher? Here today, Rabbi Simkin came to tell us the answer. Yeah, you stoned it instead of shechting it. It's nevela. Okay. Venevela asura b'achila. Okay. I know that the stoned shor cannot be eaten because it is nevela, wasn't shechted properly, and therefore it's also b'achila. If so, matel mudlomer lo yocheles besoroi. Redundant. Lo yocheles besoroi. The flesh shall not be eaten. Really? Like I thought that after stoning the shor I can eat it. Why does the Torah have to tell me that I don't eat it? that the flesh should not be eaten. Well, what's the news? Yeah. So Magid Lecho, it's coming to tell you news, big news. Shim shochto le'achar shenigmar dino also ba'achila. Comes to tell you as follows. Comes to tell you that if you shechted it when it was Gmar Din, the Beis Din decided there were two Eidim, there was a whole court case done to the show and its owner. What happens then? We have, put down the gavel, decided the show has a din, is labeled, the verdict is, definition, show niskal. But then came someone very quick and alert. What did he do? He shechted it. He shechted the show niskal. No, we're going to be in Soikalim. We didn't yet do it. When you sentence a guy to jail, it takes time. I don't know how long. What? Exactly. It was between Gmar Din and the execution. Between the Gmar Din and the execution came a smart guy, maybe the owner. He brought a guy from the Bedat, came a guy from the Bedat and shechted it. So now it's kosher, it's not nevela. It has a label of shor niskal, but it's not nevela. So what do you do then? Therefore comes the Torah, lo yocheles besoroi. It comes to tell me shchita. It's also even if it was after shchita, still also bano. It's also ba'achila. Shchita still also bano. Don't eat it after shchita even. Okay, don't eat it. Lo yochel. Don't eat it even if it was kosher mitzad the shchita. The best shechet of Rav Rubin shechted it, but lemais it has a label of a shor niskal. You're not allowed to eat it. Now comes big news. Ba'ano minayin. Oh, how do you know that I can't have any benefit from the shore? Mind you, this is what this bride is all about. Our question was, how do you know that Shor Niskal makes it to the exclusive, dubiously exclusive list of Isur Hano? How do you know it's also Bano? Talmud lo no Baal Shor Noki. The last part of the pasuk is about Hano. Baal Shor Noki. The owner of the shore comes clean. What does it mean? My mashma. What's the connection between being clean and Osur Bahano? Shimon ben Zoyma Oimer says Shimon ben Zoyma. The Tana says, "Ke'odem shomer lechaveroi." Just like it's colloquially said, people tell their friends, "Yotza ploini noki menechosov." A person came clean from all his assets, ben lebemano shel klum, and he has no hano in his assets. In other words, he's cleaned out. He was cleaned out of all his assets, meaning completely clean. Clean also means without sun. Yeah. In other words, he doesn't have that. He's clean, was cleaned, cleared away from any connection to that bull, are no included. Yeah. He's completely out of ownership of the show, which means they cannot take, the novella of a show can be worth a lot of money. Mackenzie, McKinley, and Chun 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 will buy it with a big simcha, right? For Purim. Then why not? No, you can't have any benefit from the shore. It says Balashor Noki to Ano. Very nice. So again, let's go 1, 2, 3. So the first way, and that's going to be, by the way, the maskana also. Sakali sakel, well, it's the vela, you can't eat it, no big news. And then the Torah didn't say not to eat it, just say stone it. What happens if you're smart enough and quick enough and you shechted it after the verdict? Before the verdict, that's another shaila. We're not going there now. But after the verdict, it has a name of Shor Niskal, you shechted it, doesn't help. Still, lo yochel es besoroi. The flesh will not be eaten. What about selling it to someone? Or maybe mekadesh a woman with a dead bull? That's so nice. Yeah, it's worth a lot of money? No. You can't have hana without. You don't recommend that? No, not so romantic. And if you want to be mekadesh a woman with a dead bull, you cannot do that. Balashor naki. You are cleaned out, cleared away from the nechosim. Very nice. Adkan, Hakol Tov V'Yofe, all is very good. Practic Gemara. Now we have a whole different way of learning it. As I told you yesterday, that's a small introduction. There is an opinion, the opinion of Rabbi Abahu, which we're going to see in Psochim. Rabbi Abahu says that whenever it says in the Torah the words Lo Yochel, automatically it includes Isur Hano. Huge enough kamina. According to Rabbi Abahu, many things are also bano. Whenever the Torah says do not eat, it automatically means also do not have hano, do not benefit, do not enjoy. And we're going to explain why, and that's going now to cause a whole raucous over here. Now, how do you know? You just read the pasuk very nicely. I have an alternative, a different way of reading the pasuk. How do you know that the words lo ye'ochel es besor? What's lo ye'ochel? Shall not be eaten. How do you know that the pasuk that the flesh should not be eaten? How do you know it's coming to tell me that if somebody shechted it after the verdict, it should not be eaten? Dilma, maybe it's coming to tell me something else. Wow. Maybe really, if somebody shechted it lachar gmar din after the verdict, it's allowed. You're allowed to eat it. So what's lo yochel doing here? The hay lo yochel echad esakle miskal hu also. Lo yochel comes to tell me do not eat it once it was niskal, when it was stoned. Once it was stoned, it's not a chiddush. You don't eat it. Big news. It's coming to tell me Isser Hano. It's coming to tell me Isser Hano, which means the alternative shot here. Oh, okay, Hano. The green one is the alternative shot. Hano, it's coming to tell me Lo Ye'ochel. The word Ye'ochel really comes to talk about Hano. Because you know who says that? There's a Choshuv mensch over there in Psochim, Rabbi Abo, and he says, Rabbi Abo, he said, Kol mokum shenemar, lo yoichal, lo toichal, or lo ye'ochel, lo toichal, lo tochelu, echad isur achila, ve'echad isur hano. Pause a second. Comes Rabbi Abo b'shem Rabbi Lozo, and he says that, what? Isur achila and isur hano are together. Every time it says lo ye'ochel, the word lo ye'ochel, don't eat, automatically it means you should not have hano. And how does he know that? Continue. Ad shifrat lecha kosuv kiderech sheperet lecha benevela. Let me explain. The Torah, this is really the source of machlokes, a good few dapim in Psochim between Rabbi Abo, Chizkiah, the whole machlokes over there. Rabbi Abo says as follows. There's a famous pasuk about nevela. Yeah, not lo tochol kol nevela. What are you supposed to do with nevela? Don't eat the nevela. Okay, I won't eat it. I'm a good boy. And then it says, Lagera sheb'sherecha titnonu ba'achola, oy mochor lenofri. You give it to the ger. Who's the ger? Not chas v'shalom the ger, the tzaddik, the ger tzaddik from Esha Torah or Sameach. Which ger? Ger Toshov is a goy who's a Noachide. It's basically today they call them Noachides. Yeah, Noachides. Yeah, he lives in Eretz Yisrael. He's allowed to, and he keeps Sheva mitzvahs from Noach. And therefore, what you're supposed to help him financially and give him the treifa meat for free. And also, you're allowed to sell it to the regular guy, right? Or give it to your dog. Giving it to your dog, right? Mention also nevela treifa, the two psukim. One about the dog, one about the guy, regular guy, Mackenzie. Mackenzie is not a noachide today. Today is not. So now you're allowed to sell it for $2,000 to the guy. Bekitzer, nevela and treifa clearly, the foolish are mutter bahano. Now listen carefully to the logic of Rabbi Abo. Rabbi Abo says as follows. What did the Torah say at the beginning of the pasuk? Lo toichal kol nevela. Don't eat the nevela. But you know what? But you're allowed to have hano. What does that mean? Why would have I thought it's not allowed hano? If you told me not to eat, then I'm not going to eat. I automatically understand it's okay to sell it to Mackenzie and give it to my dog, to Rexy the dog. So why would I think otherwise? The mere fact that the Torah has to allow nevela v'treifa behano, that is to say that otherwise the words lo toichal kol nevela would include hano. Why does the Torah say achila and includes hano? Because Rashi says the most classical normal way of enjoying life, enjoying food, is eating. Eating is also hano. You call it benefit, enjoying, because there's no word in English for hano. Hano means you enjoy the food, right? Enjoy your meal, right? That's what they tell you in the airplane. They're very optimistic. Yeah. Okay. Get what I'm saying? Rabbi Abo has a chiddush. He tells us that every time it says lo yochel, we learn it from the Vela, automatically means osur behano as well, right? Except for Nevela, which was the exception to the rule. And therefore, let's reread the pasuk. This pasuk is telling me Nevela, that's another question. That part of the pasuk, stone it. The second part of the pasuk is telling me lo yochel. You know it's lo yochel. You stoned it. So what is he coming to tell me? Hano. Lo yochel tells me that same guy that was stoned, that guy you're not allowed to be nehene. But what about if you shechted it? Maybe that will be allowed. Wow. Maybe that should be allowed. Yes, according to Rabbi Abo, we don't have the extra words to refer to, right? He used up the middle part of the pasuk for hano of the regular shor niskal. So the shor that's nishchat is really allowed. According to Rabbi Abo, is marked in green. According to him, no. If he shechted the shor, then it's fine. What will he do with Balashon Noki? Because he believes already that here we learn hano. So you don't need to learn hano from Balashon Noki. Balashon Noki we'll have to use for something else, says Rashi. That we'll see later. Yeah, Balashon Noki, he doesn't need it to aser no. He already used the middle pasuk to aser no. And that will be discussed later. So basically now we're asking, maybe Rabbi Abba was right, and maybe according to Rabbi Abba, what shall we say? That the show is also bano. I agree, it's also bano, but we don't have the extra pasuk to tell me that the show that was shechted, show niskal that was shechted, to say that he's also no. Maybe you're allowed to eat. You do whatever you want with it. Yeah.
He has to get a knas. He's overriding the Gemar Din by shechting it. It says
No, but he's not allowed.
Now he goes along and shechts it.
No, but he's not
What
nana
right
from
does he
it.
have to do that?
You're saying according to Abo,
What right does he have to?
maybe he'll get a class or something. 100%. That's, I agree. It's not the issue now, though. You're right. We're now dealing with the shore whether you can eat nehene v'chule. The fact that he shechted it and he didn't follow his base in psak, put him in nidu cherem mistomer. Maybe there are other solutions. But Bavakam around Daf Mem, he talks about it. I don't remember, to be honest. Generally, somebody doesn't follow psak of base, and you punish him. But that's a separate story. Now we're talking about the show. Answers the Gemara. Answers the Gemara. Why won't we say that? Hani mili. You know when Rabbi Bo said his rule. I'll tell you when he said it. When you learn the isur achila from the words "don't eat," which is a simple case, then isur hano takes a piggyback, jumps on the bandwagon, and say achila means achila, and also hano. But hocha, let's look at it carefully. Isur achila misokel nafka. Very good. Here, how do you know you're not allowed to eat it? From here, sokel isokel. I'm going now with Rabbi Abo. Isser achila, well, it's nevela, you can't eat it. You want to use the pasuk lo ya'ochel only for hano without achila. You want to separate achila and hano and say achila we learn from being nevela clearly, and hano I learned from lo ya'ochel. That doesn't work. In other words, the words lo ya'ochel, if lo ya'ochel is teaching you don't eat, it also comes and adds to the deal also hano. But when you have lo ya'ochel in one pasuk, and the lo ya'ochel is a second lo ya'ochel only for, just for hana, that doesn't work. It can only take a ride. It's like a guy who doesn't have his driver's license. He'll be what? Just the passenger. He'll never be the driver. That's Isra Hana in lo ya'ochel. It's a passenger according to Rabbi Abo. And therefore, since Achila is from here, Hana cannot be only from lo ya'ochel of over there. Let's see how the Gemara says it. And continues the Gemara. I'll read again, Hani Mili. When the prohibition of eating is learned from the word lo ya'ochel, yalla. Hana comes along also. And we also learn Hana. Hana is another secondary thing besides achila. But hocha, here, isra achila, misokel nafka. Right? Here, the isra achila, we learn from the fact, skila. That's how we know it's also to eat it. Not from lo ya'ochel. The isal kadatach lisar no dichtiv. You know what? If you want to be so smart and tell me that the words lo ya'ochel really refer to hano, just for hano, nichtav kra lo yahone. The Torah knows how to talk to human beings. The Torah should have said lo yahone. Why can the Torah talk normal? Yeah, sokel is sokel. I can't eat it. Last time I checked, I don't eat nevelas, I think. What about this one? What about this one? Right, lo yahone, and I know not to enjoy. Right, elamai must be. Right, must be. Yeah, lo yahone. Therefore, must be that really you don't say that, even according to Rabbi Abo. In this case, lo ya'ochel. Yeah, lo ya'ochel means don't eat. Don't eat what? Don't eat the shore after shchita. Even Rabbi Bo would agree that here the words lo ya'ochel must be talking about eating, and eating we know already from here, from sakel isakel. I know already not to eat it, right? So why do I need again lo ya'ochel? And here lo ya'ochel can't be hano, because lo ya'ochel was was siphoned, was separated from hano. Lo yochel means just not to eat. Not to eat. I know not to eat already. Must be shchita. It's a guy who quickly chopped the knife, the chalif, and shechted. That sure shall not be eaten. And hano, you'll probably learn hano from over here, as we said, balashon Okay, although we're going to revisit Rabbi Abba, but this is Rabbi Abba gave up basically and joined the mainstream thing. Inami, another answer why we want, why even Rabbi Abba would agree. Lo ochel. It's enough to write. Why does it have to write lo yochel es besoroi? Like, what did you think you're going to eat? Its horns? You thought you're going to eat its hooves? What are you going to eat? Of course, besoroi. Lo yochel is enough. Es besoroi lamali. Why do you have to write the words the flesh? Don't eat the flesh, right? Don't eat it. Lo yochloi, lo yochlenu. Es besoroi. Why is besoroi? Why is it coming? What is it coming to say? Afagav de shachte ke'ein bosor osu, which means there's a whole different answer here. Lo yochel es besoroi is telling you don't eat. What shan't you eat? Not to eat the regular flesh. I know already not to eat the flesh because it's nevela, it's niskal, right? Why do you write lochel es besoroi? To tell you that even if it was shechted and became meat, in other words, how do you meatify something? Oh, for English speakers, that's very good. How do you call it when it's alive? Flesh. And when it's dead, you call it meat. Very nice. No, you should celebrate your language here. In other words, when did they turn it into boso? Or in halacha, when is it called now prepared good bosol? Lo yochel es besoroi. When I made it into good consumable meat, meaning I shechted it, even then it's also bachila. Same, we get to the same result through a different way. So again, if it's stone, niskal, of course it's also, it's nevela, it's a non-starter. Lo yochel es besoroi. You're a smart guy. Yeah, we'll give him a knas. We'll deal with him. You shechted it, you made it into bosol. You shechted it, still also ba'achila. So where's hano? Hano is balashon noki. Very nice. Now, maskif la mazuta. Mazuta now is going to have a strong question over here, but soon we're going to answer it. Mazuta is attacking, and he wants to explain differently the es besoroi business, and he's asking as follows: maybe there's a middle way. Up until now, we thought clearly that skila is skila and shchita is shchita. Skila, yeah, you make the shore fall off of the roof, yeah, and then you stone the shore. What happens next? Then what do? They say it's gilgul, of course, pulling, yeah. And then what? And then there's another option of shechting the shore. You know what? Let's make peace. Really, there's some kind of action that combines between skila and shchita. How's that? The aim mili heicha de bodak tsur or tsor, I think in better Hebrew. No, tsur, tsuri. Tsur v'shochat bo. What about if the person took a very, very, very sharp stone and he shechted the animal with a very, very, very sharp stone? Yeah, rock stone. He shechted with that. V'shochat bo. The michzi ke skila. It looks like skila because he used the stone, right? So then the guy says, yeah, he says, I'm really a very frum guy. I'm a kai mitzvahs Beth Din because I'm using a stone that is similar to skila. So I'm a kai mitzvah skila, but at the same time, I also have kosher meat. Cool. So maybe in such a case, yeah, then the Torah is telling me that it's also hano because it's not nevela. It's not nevela, but it's similar to skila. And we tell the guy, you shechted it in a way that's similar to skila, treif, also. But maybe if you shechted it with a real knife, you shechted it with the regular normal chalev of the shoichet, maybe then you're allowed to eat it. Again, yeah, maybe when the shchita was similar to skila, then it schmecks a bit like skila. Then we say that's balasho. Then we say it's besoroi. That's also ba'achila. But maybe regular shchita is mutar ba'achila. Yeah, that's a question. Answers the Gemara, no. Says the Gemara, mi disakin ba'orai succeed. Does it tell you ever in the Torah, when it says in the Torah shchita, v'zovachta kasher tzivisicha, does it mention regular sakin? It doesn't. It doesn't. In other words, you have this common, not common knowledge, that's this basically general idea based on social norms. When you think of a knife, you automatically think of a metal knife. Maybe they think of disposable knives too. You don't think of a knife made out of stone. But halachically, no. It doesn't say in the Torah that you have to use a knife. You can use, as we'll see soon, any sharp object you want, as we're going to prove. The oid, Tanya, and soon I'm going to explain the answer. The oid, Tanya, it says in the Brisa, Bakol Shoichtin. It says you're allowed to shecht with whichever item you want, as long as it's super, super, super sharp and long enough. Ben Betzu, you're allowed to take tzur, you're allowed to take a very, very sharp stone and shecht with it. As long as the shape is good, then it's going to do the job. Ben Bezchuchis, yeah, what's chuchis? Glass. You can take a glass item and shecht. Ben the krumis shel kone, you can take like the rind, the outside of a kone, of a reed. Yeah, reed can be very, very sharp, like a paper. Even paper can cut your finger. You know, it's very painful. Yeah, the A4 that go like that by mistake. So you can shecht with paper. Well, I don't think it's going to do the job strong enough, but conceptually, if it's strong enough, sharp enough, long enough, bevakasha, do what you want. Which means, your idea, Malzutra, is, says the Gemara, wrong. Why? You assume normal sakin, good sakin is what I have in my mind, the normal sakin of metal, right? And if I have a sakin which is like, which is what? From stone, it looks like skila, feels like skila. The mainland, there's a way to differentiate and say that's osir bachila, that's muta bachila. No, says the Gemara, no way. If you agree to us, and you do, that the sakin of a regular knife, regular sakin of metal, is definitely what you would say it's mutar bachila in your understanding, then the one of stone should also be mutar bachila. And if the stone is also bachila, the one by metal should be also bachila. And we opt for osur bachila, as we just proved. We proved es besoroi. The words es besoroi are extra to tell me that even if you shechted it, it's still osur bachila. It's treated as if it was nevela. You're not allowed to eat it. You made it stone or shmon, doesn't make any difference what the material is. But kosher shchita is kosher shchita. It's all the same lechatchila. I guess it's not accepted. I don't know hilchas shchita. I'm scared to talk. But here it looks like if you manage to create a nice sakin from any fantastic material, AI shchita, then the shchita is good. Okay, as long as it's good, and therefore no difference. So back to square one, which is a good square one. Let's summarize again. Nevela, don't eat nevela. What about if I shechted it nicely? Lo yocheles besoroi, still osur. That's a chiddush. Don't eat it even if it's in the shape of meat, in the halach of meat. What about ano? Balashonoki, you're cleaned out of your business. Yes, Ellen. So, next Gemara. V'hashte de nafkal an iso achilo v'iso ano tovayu bilo ye'ochel. It's very hard to understand what the Gemara is saying it now, but basically the Gemara is kilu taking a few steps backwards and says, now that according to Rabbi Abo, I would add, according to Rabbi Abo that learns lo ye'ochel includes everything, meaning achila and hano together, and you learn the whole thing from lo ye'ochel. In other words, we are taking ourselves back now and saying, we're rewinding the movie now. According to the classical limud of Rabbi Abo, lo ye'ochel means automatically hano, right? We rejected it, but now we're going back to the question. Many times the Gemara does that. The Gemara is not Chas V'Shalom newspaper. The Gemara many times, even after giving an answer, the Gemara is like picking on the one asking and said, when you were asking, what were you thinking? Because the Gemara, every half a minute matters. When you are trying to portray that case of Isser Hano is learned from over here, then the question was, I'm continuing the Gemara, Hi Balashornoki, Lamai also. Balashornoki, you can't say it's for Hano. Why? Because you're saying that Hano is learned from Es Besoroi, right? If Hano, you learn from Es Besoroi, right? Achila here, Hano here. So, and this, not for Hano. This is not for Hano, right? Hano we already learned from Es Besoroi. So what do you do with the words Balashornoki? The words Balashornoki are orphaned, right? What do you do with Balashornoki? I don't need to Aser Hano. I know from here to Aser Hano. Lefi the Havamin of Rabbi Abo. And says the Gemara, La'anoas oiroi mazel tov Yosef. La'anoas oiroi, to tell you, Hanoas oiroi. What's Hanoas oiroi? You're not allowed to benefit from the hide of the animal. Why would have I thought that it's okay to benefit from the hide? Very good. According to Rabbi Abo, in the Havamina, how do you know that I can't have no? lo yochel es besoroi, right? You can't lo yochel es besoroi. What's lo yochel es besoroi? The flesh, but the skin can benefit, right? The basar strafe, I'll flay the skin and give the skin. It's very, very good wool. It's a huge piece of skin. I'll sell it to Mackenzie's cousin. He's a cowboy. What? Soifer, Soifer, wherever you want. Right, very good. Tefillin. Yeah. Comes the words Balashon Noki to tell me no. Very, very good. I would have said so also Ora Muto. Then we say no, no, no. Balashon Noki, even from the hide, even from the skin, you're completely Noki. No hano from the flesh, no hano from the Noki, nothing, nothing, nada, not even the skin you can benefit from. I Weiter. Another question on the same subject of Balashonoki. According to those Tanoim, the Mapkile Hai Balashonoki Lechatzi Koifer Uledmei Vlodos. There are Tanoim in Bava Kama, they learn other droshes from other halachas from the words Balashonoki. A Chatzi Koifer. That was the confusion that happened here yesterday. What's the difference between Shol Tam and Shol Muad? Two differences. Difference number one, no, I don't know. I'm not drinking today for some reason. Shol Tam pays how much? Half. Shol Muad pays the whole thing, right? That's 3 times. Okay. Now, what's the other difference? Koifer. What's koifer? If a person killed some, no, if a bull, if a shor, an ox killed someone, only if it's a shor muad, he pays what? Money, the value of the victim, or the value of the owner, or the value of the victim, like a kaporo or for the owner, or kaporo for killing the victim. Yeah. But Lamaisa, a shor muad that killed 3 times, a shor muad who killed 3 times, but the third time, not only we kill him, irony, right? Also, we make the bailim pay the value of the person. By shor tam who killed, we don't make him pay koifer. Of course, everyone's asking, if he was killed the first time, how did he manage to kill 3 times? Well, he came back in Gilgul. No, I'm joking, yeah? No, so there are 3 answers. I always forget all of them, except for the one that he ran away. He ran away. What's the other one? Mardina, Lamad Bedin, right. Either he wasn't sentenced enough times, he didn't, yeah, before he was sentenced, he killed 3 times. He grew up in a bad neighborhood. No, he has bad cousins, he took drugs from a young age. The kids are, so then, basically, or he ran away. There was a reality. Every time he ran away, they didn't catch him. So he killed 3 times. Now, after the 3rd time, not only we finally chapped, there are wanted signs all over town for that bull. Not only we kill him, we also make him pay koifer. Now, what's Balashon Noki? Balashon Noki comes to tell you that a shor tam who killed does not pay half a koifer. Get what I'm saying? Maybe I should combine the 2 halachas. If the shor gored your prized Persian cat, then what does he have to pay? Half the amount, only 5,000 shekels. Yeah. If he killed 3 cats already, the 4th time, what? You'd have to pay full price. Right. That's by Nezik, not by death. And also, we know that a shor muad has to pay the full amount for killing a person. Well, by that logic, I would say, wait a second. So a shor tam should pay half a koifer. If shor tam is always half of shor muad, so if a shor muad pays the entire koifer, the value of the person, 2 million shekels, let's say, so you should pay 1 million shekels. And you know what? There is a Tana that says you do. In Bavakama Daftas Vav Amud Aleph, if I'm not mistaken. Here comes the Tana and says, no, Balashon Noki, Noki, is coming to tell you that the shor tam who killed does not pay half a koifer. Right? That's one drosha. Another drosha, uledmei vlodois. What's dmei vlodois? Let's say the shor gored a pregnant woman and he killed the unborn baby. He killed the fetus, the embryo. You can call it whatever you want. He called the ubar. And what happens then? Then, if a person would have done it, give her a fist in the stomach, you'd have to pay the husband/father. There's a question if it's not the same person. Then he has to pay him the value of the unborn baby. You get misa for killing an unborn baby, but you get to pay. What about a shor? The shor gored a woman. She was injured, and the baby inside was killed. The shor's owner doesn't pay koifer. Wait a second. So we have why? Balashon Noki. Oh, So you see that this Balashon Noki is a very popular, busy word, right? It's coming to teach me Dmevlodois, it's coming to teach me Koifer. Then, according to those opinions, Oiroi Minalehu. How do they know that you don't get to benefit from the or? Again, let's repeat. What did we say? We saw that the word Noki is teaching you that not only the flesh, but like Yosef asked very nicely before, what happens with the skin? Noki. The word noki is like extra clean, cleaned out, finished. Forget about it. You don't even get the skin. Very nice. But according to opinions who use the word noki for a different drosha, either to exempt you from half a koifer, exempt you from boom, paying for the unborn baby. So they already used up the word noki very well. So how do they know I can't benefit from the or? How do they know I can't have a no from the skin? Answers the Gemara, me es me from es besoroi is a tofel besoroi. Es besoroi. Lo yochel es besoroi. The word es is always coming to add, not only besoroi. What's es besoroi? The bosor. Es is what is tofel. What's tofel? Secondary, like ikar and tofel in food. The thing that's secondary to the meat, which is the or, which is the skin, hide, that too, you can't have a no. Very good. So Noki is coming to exempt me from Chetzi Koifer, from Vlodus, from the unborn baby. How do you know you're not allowed to benefit from the skin? Es Besoroi, not just the boss can't have a no. I know I can't have a no from over here, according to Abiyabo. From Besoro, you can't have a no. Es Besoro, you can't have a no from the secondary to the bosser, which is the skin. Very nice. The idach. Now the question, of course, is return. Now the idach. What will do with the word ace? Those who learned that you can't benefit from the O, from the skin, from the hide, from the thing. How do you know? From Balashon. So according to them, the word S is redundant. I don't need the word S. I already know not to benefit from the skin. From where? From Balashon. So the word S, which you can claim so nicely, S means secondary to the flesh. They don't need the word S. Just right. Very nice Hebrew grammar. Why S? Answers the Gemara, Es loy dorish. Wow. That opinion believes, those Tanoim would be forced to believe the Tana that says that the word Es is just a word for grammar, for style, and it's not written for any drosha. There could be very heilige kavanas by Kabbalah, I don't know, but drosha, you don't darshan extra halacha from the word ace. I'm not bothered by the fact that the word ace appears in the Torah. It's simple Hebrew grammar. Yeah, that before a noun, you always have the word ace, right? Henley, bit object, thank you. You know Hebrew better than me, right? Ace before an object. Yeah, well, noun. That's actually not true what you're saying. Before a noun, also abstract noun. No, I'm sorry. I was right by mistake in Hebrew. I took Ulpan, a whole month. No, רוצה את אהבה. את אהבה is not an object. אהבה is abstract noun. כן? הוא רוצה את האהבה שלה. את אהבה. כן? הוא מחפש את העצמאות שלו. He's looking for his independence. Can you say הוא מחפש עצמאות שלו? No. הוא מחפש את העצמאות שלו. Although עצמאות is an abstract noun. It's an abstract noun. It's not an object. I said that. את העצמאות. Hebrew, and ha'aras about my Hebrew are very welcome, actually. What? Sorry? It's not an object, direct object, true, but not an object. It's a noun, even abstract or physical. Weiter. We're a little bit distracted. Apologies. That was for Purim. Es loy dorish, kedetanya. Shimon am Sunni. The Amr Nehemiah am Sunni, right? Shimon am Sunni or Nehemiah am Sunni was one of the Tanoim. Hoyodorish kol etin shebatoiro. Yeah, he would sit down and he darshaned every time the word es or et in Sephardic pronunciation appears in the Torah. Es avicha ve'esimecha, es yom haShabbos l'kadsho, v'chul. Yeah, he always made the drosha mamash halacha or musar, something that came out of the word es. Kevin shegiya until one sunny day, what happened? Kevin shegiya al es Hashem Elokecha tira tiresh. He stopped. He abstained. He came to the words Es Hashem Elokecha tira. He says, no, nothing cannot be as holy as Hashem. In other words, the word Es always comes to tell me secondary to Es. Look, the basar and the secondary to the basar, which is the skin. Es avicha ve'esimecha, including what? Older brother. The older brother is like secondary to the parents. How can it say Es Hashem lekechatira? Is there anything close to Hashem? Yeah, we don't think Hashem is a ganze mishpacha like them, like father, mother. Yeah, there's only one Hashem. No, nobody's close to Hashem to be even secondary to Hashem, and therefore Pirish, and therefore he mamish was Pirish, meaning he stopped, he abstained, he retracted everything he said. Yeah, in other words, if this ace doesn't work, so too all other asim don't work either. Either ace comes to teach you something or it doesn't. And if I know that Es Hashem Elokei doesn't mean any extra because there's no secondary to Hashem, there's no vice Hashem, so too must be the other Asim are also wrong because they're all in the same line. In other words, when the Torah wrote the word Ace, it didn't mean to add anything. So the Talmidim told Reb Shimon HaMsuni, Rebbe, call Asim Shedorash Tamat Alem. All the Asim Yudarshan, what's going to be with them? In other words, you worked so hard your whole life to darshan asim, shtiklach Torah, pachkevilim, stories, yeah, books. Listen to the intellectual integrity that they had. Omar lahem, he told them, Keshem shekibalti sachar ledrishe, kach kibalti ala prishe. Wow. Just like I got sachar to darshan, to have a drosha, to learn, the same way I'll have sachar from Hashem to be poirish and not learn. Unbelievable. In other words, you may have this is mamish musa to each and every Jewish man, and maybe sometimes women, that you sometimes have a very, very nice Torah thought, yeah, that flashes in your mind, and you're so happy, and you say, it fits a pasuk here, it fits something I learned in pasuk in Shiur last year. The words are more or less okay. The whole shtickle Torah, I'm going to say this to my wife at the table, to my friends in shul. It's more chiddush. Then all of a sudden you realize Talmid Chacham comes and, as we call it in yeshivish, slugs it up. He shows you from somewhere that you're wrong from a different direction. You have one of two options: either to be humble and be poirish and say, "Wow, okay, it's very painful because you built a whole beautiful palace." Yeah, or you can start and say, "No," who says Talmid Chacham? Try and kvetch and push in your svara more into to stick your feet to the ground, stand with your, stick to your gun, and that's obviously not the good option. The chokhmah is just like Hashem loves us when we're doiresh, when we make the drosha. He loves us as much when we are poirish, when we're intellectually real and genuine, and we're poirish. We remove ourselves from the beautiful chiddush that we learned from Reb Shimon HaMsoni. Now, but there's hope. There's hope. There's hope. There's hope. But some people do darshan ace. Hey, those guys, those Tanoim, they say ace is coming to teach me also that, ace, tell me that. So there is a Tana that did learn the word ace. That was Rabbi Akiva. Ad Sheba Rabbi Akiva, the limit, until Rabbi Akiva came later on, and he did teach the pasuk ace. Es Hashem Elokei Chatira lerabois talmidei chachomim. Es Hashem Elokei Chatira lerabois talmidei chachomim. Ace Hashem Elokei Chatira. You know who are close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who should be also treated with reverence and kavod. These are Talmidei Chachamim, serious Talmidei Chachamim who are really close to Hashem, not anybody who knows how to learn a little bit and give shiur. A person who's mamish close to Hashem, real Talmid Chacham, yes, he's not like Hashem, but he's representing Hashem in this world. Yeah, he is the reflection of Hashem. Absolutely so. Yes, das Torah. What's das Torah? You hear a Rav saying something and it doesn't make sense to you. Don't say it's silly. Don't say it's stupid. If a big Rav said it, it can make sense. Let's try and understand and ask people, what did this rabbi mean? I don't understand what the Rav said, but he's a great Rav, so I want to understand what he said. Because if this Rav is close to Hashem, closer than me, then I have to try and understand, he must be right, and if I don't get it, must be that I'm wrong, or maybe misunderstood him. That's the kavod that Talmidei Chachamim deserve because they're close to Hashem. Very good. The maskana, though, let's just not get distracted. The maskana is not what we just said at the end. The maskana, again, is definitely like we went all along. Tokali sakel, stone the bull, and therefore is nevela. It's also bachila. Nevela is usually allowed behano, as we said. What's this one? What does it say over here? It says lo yocheles besoroi. Don't eat the flesh. I know not to eat the flesh. What's lo yocheles besoroi? After shchita, you shechted it, you made it into boso. Very nice, very kosher. Otherwise, but not here, because it was sentenced to death. It's considered as dead man walking, dead bull walking. But we don't know anything about Hano. Balashon Noki comes to tell you Hano. Okay? Es Besoy may mean also the skin. Noki means the skin, lo meshane. But at the end of the day, everything is also Baal Shol Noki, cleaned, you can't have an anu. So the shol is Noki, the Baal Shol is Noki actually, and you cannot benefit from the shol. Therefore, the Masada Kiddushin, last moment, the guy came to the Chasana hall with a dead bull as the Kiddushin instead of a ring that's big. You know, some people are sticky, and the Masada Kiddushin asks him, "Where's this bull from?" It's a Shol Niskal. Yeah, Shol Niskal. No, can't have that for. But the Eved, you'll be Mekadosher with the ring, with the Eved, right? Because the bull doesn't work once it's Shol Niskal. The Egla Arufa. One more. Are we all happy? Questions? Comments? Yes. Right. The Egla Arufa. One more. One small line. But first, there's a the Egla Arufa. What did we say? A person is Mekadesh a woman with Egla Arufa. Egla Arufa is the cow, the young cow. Yeah, the how do you call it? The heifer, yeah, the calf, the female calf, right? The female calf that is beheaded in the Nachal in the valley next to the city, where the closest city to the dead body, and that is something that's mechaper on Klal Yisrael and the people of the town that were not careful enough with the guest that left the town and was murdered. That's Egla Rufa. Egla Rufa is also Bahano, and the question is, as always, Minolan. How do you know? How do you know that the dead body of the Egla Rufa is also Bahano? You have to get rid of it, Alan. Yeah, burn, whatever. You can't and benefit from the Egla Rufa. How do you know? Amri dever bianai kaporo ksivba. What does it say about Torah Duma? Kaper lamcha Yisrael, right? Kaporo. It's a kaporo. It's an atonement. It says the word kaporo regarding the Egla Rufa. Egla Rufa I'm talking about. Kekodshim. Therefore, it's sharing a common denominator that what? With Kodshim. Are Kodshim mutar ba'ano? I'm not allowed to just be an ene from Kodshim without redeeming. The whole business we spoke about up until now, yeah, is Mekadesh B'Kodshim. Kodshim also doesn't work, by the way. Yeah, Mekadesh B'Kodshim. Kodshim is something that's also ba'ano. You benefit from Kodshim. What's your punishment? The shoygeg. You're not allowed to. So too, the Poradum, the Egla Rufa, you're not allowed to have no from it. Okay? Beseder. Weiter. Tzipoire Metzoiro. We're not going to go very far in Tzipoire Metzoiro, just the beginning. Tzipoire Metzoiro Minola. Tzipoiro ends in the field wherever out of any city. He's not allowed to live with people at that stage. It's a Metzoiro Muchlot, 100% Metzoiro, not middle of the thing. That Metzoiro Muchlot, what's his kapara? Right after the Kohen decided that he's not Metzoiro anymore, he starts his tikkun process, the hechsher, to become kosher, to start, to finish off the kapara. So the first thing he does is the Kohen brings two birds to where the Metzoiro is. One bird he also brings the Etz Ezov, Shnitolas, and the Etz Erez. These trio appear many times. Hyssop, as Rav Kornfeld said, now we know what it means, right? It's not Ezov, it's Hyssop. Now we know what it means, yeah? So now the Hyssop and maybe you do, and a piece of CEDAR, yeah, of the cedar wood, right? And also Talat Shoni, what is that? The tzemer, the red dyed wool, and he sprinkles and he takes Maim Chaim, water from a spring, right? From a spring, Maim Chaim, from a spring. He sprinkles, and also the live bird. He has a live bird and there's a dead bird. He shechts the dead bird onto the water, and he sprinkles with the live bird and the other three onto the Metzoiro. That's the beginning of the process. Then he shaves his entire body, and the following week he goes to Beis Hamikdash with 3 korbanos. All very, very, very heilig and mystical things. But basically, there are two birds. One of them is shechted, the other one is dipped into the water and sprinkled, and the live bird, he sends her free. He sets the bird free, it goes free. The bird that goes free is not Asur Ba'ano, because the Gemara will say later on that the Torah would never say that a Kohen should be Meshaleach, send away a bird that anybody can find and anybody can mistakenly eat and will be Asur Ba'ano. The Torah doesn't want to create accidents, so to speak, or stumbling stones to people. But the bird that is shechted stays right there. It's also Ba'ano. Bury it, do something, yeah? It's also Ba'ano. Obviously, the question is, how do we know? How do we know that the bird which is shechted for the Metzoiro is also Ba'ano? Yes? You okay? Yeah, fine. Minolan, how do we know? The Tana Deber Bishmol. The Tana of Bishmol says as follows: Nema machshir umechaper mibefnim. There are two items in the Torah. One is a machshir, and one of them is a mechaper. We're going to explain what that means soon. Inside meaning inside Beis Hamikdash. V'nema machshir umechaper mibachutz. And sometimes you have things that are machshir and mechaper outside Beis Hamikdash. What did I tell you before? Machshir basically is the something that makes the person kosher, makes him prepared, makes him ready to the next stage. It's not a kapara, which means machshir umechaper bachutz. We're talking here about what's a machshir, the bird of the Mitzorah. Once that ceremony with the two birds and the three items was done, in what way is the Mitzorah now better than he was before? He still has to bring korbanos next week, and he shaves again next week. Elamai, now he's allowed to go into town. Oh, that's great. Now he's allowed to go into Machane. I don't know about other things having relations and all that. I don't remember, to be honest. But I do know that once he has that, it's machshir, makes him kosher, kosherizes him to come and be in the Machane inside town. Now, which town is rejected from? The one that's Book of Choima, by the way, you should know that. Oh, Purim, Pirim. That's a very good trivia question for the Purim Suda. Which other nafkamina is there between cities that are walled and are not walled? Book of Choima, not Book of Choima. I know about Purim. I also celebrate Purim. And another nafkamina is Mitzorah. And Mitzorah should be sent away from any city in Eretz Israel that was walled from the times of Yeshua. Yeah, it should be sent away. But when you do the two tziporim after the two birds, then he's allowed to go back into this town. If it's a town that was not walled from the times of Yeshua, I don't know, Beitar, then what? Then he's allowed to stay there. He's limited in many other ways, but he's allowed to be there. So these two tziporim allow him to now enter Yerushalayim, enter, I don't know, Akko, Tveria, all these places. Now, so basically we want to, I think we'll continue tomorrow. That's machshir, mechaper, outside, inside. We'll see the whole comparison tomorrow already. Now there's no time. And no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. No, I'll see you on Monday. I'll see you on Monday because Purim, everyone's welcome to come to my house. I prefer if people come between 10 and 11, if you don't mind. Yeah, your wives are in the Megillah. You can come with your kids, grandkids, whatever. Yeah, come between 10 and 11. Okay? We should make something together, possibly. Hatzlacha uvracha l'chaim. L'chaim tovim l'shalom. Thank you to our YouTube channel subscribers and viewers, and thank you to people on Torah anytime. Hatzlacha uvracha to all of you. Have a terrific, great day, and may the tiniest be heard. You know the Tanis Esther is different to all other Tanesim because the other Tanesim we're still mourning the Churban Beis Hamikdash. We are mourning and fasting because of the Tzorah. Tanis Esther is not because of the Tzorah. Tanis Esther is to show us our Tanis is powerful. We should remember it's zecher not letzom, zecher latainis. Yeah, it's mashma like this from Rambam, other places. We commemorate not the trouble. The trouble was resolved. We all know Purim is the happy end. It's the biggest happy end of history. But we remember the tzom. We remember the actual suffering and the actual the tzom, the fasting, and the ability, yeah, the power that tefillah and tzom have. That's what we remember. And in such dire times like we live nowadays, we have to remember how tefillah and fasting and these things can be a very powerful tool to get us to the salvation. Thank you very much, Atzlocho Brocha, and a very good and well over the fast.